Gawain's Word is a main segment in Between the Lions that lasted from seasons 1 to 6. The main segment is a companion piece to Blending Bowl. A Wayne's World, part of SNL, spoof featuring two jousting knights on horseback charging at each other, one silver and one gold, each touting a speech balloon containing part of a word which then became their respective names, then demonstrating the word. For example, one skit featured Sir D, silver, and Sir Ance, gold. Then Gawain says, "Blend on, dudes, when it's time to put the two halves together." When Sir D bumps into Sir Ance, their speech balloons meld together to form the word dance. Then they react to the word by dancing. The knights' steeds were actually hobby horses, an homage to the Python's use of look-alike animals in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. In Season 6, segments instead took place at Blend Mart, where the two knights charge at each other with shopping carts to form a word, and shop for the eye. Blending Bowl is a new recurring segment in Between the Lions, appearing in seasons 7 to 10. The segment is hosted by Terry Bradshaw and is a companion piece to Gawain's Word. An American football-based Gawain's Word featuring two teams on quarterback charging at each other, each touting a scoreboard containing part of a word. The Adventures of Cliffhanger is a book series by Livingston Dangerously. It's a main animated segment that happens in most Between the Lions episodes. Each segment begins with the book showing the name and number of that particular adventure. The installments are not numbered chronologically. A chorus sings the theme song while flying past a cliff in a helicopter. Cliffhanger, who is hanging from the cliff on a branch, tries unsuccessfully to get their attention. The branch begins to break as Cliff shouts his catchphrase "Can't hold on much longer." After that, Cliff notices something or someone significant above or below him. As the narrator describes what's happening, Cliff reaches into his backpack and consults his trusty survival manual for instructions on how the surrounding events might help him. Cliff follows the instructions, usually using items from his backpack. Sometimes he gets off the cliff on his own, while other times he falls off. But inevitably, his actions lead up to him back on the cliff where he started. To Cliff's dismay, the branch begins to break again, and he says his catchphrase "Can't hold on much longer" as the sun goes down before the moon rises. Fun with Chick and Jane is a main recurring animated segment that appears in several Between the Lions episodes. Fun with Chick and Jane is a parody of Dick and Jane books for early readers. In the opening theme, two kids, Scott and Dot, and their pet Chick and Jane walk down a lane to visit a faraway place. As follows: Scott and Dot stumble into a risky situation and Chick and Jane spells a word in an attempt to warn them away from the problem. Having successfully saved the kids from danger, Chick and Jane herself gets stuck in the situation. Scott and Dot cheerfully note Chick and Jane's injury or humiliation, and thank her for sparing them. At the end of each installment, no matter what misfortune has befallen Chick and Jane, and no matter what the time and weather, she is always shown with her broken wing in a sling as she and the children walk back home up the lane on a sunny day. Fred Says is a frequently appearing segment on Between the Lions. Fred Newman appears on screen putting letters together to form words, often accompanied by Newman's trademark quirky noises and sound effects. What's Cooking with Theo and Cleo, also known as What's Cooking, is a cooking main recurring segment from Between the Lions starring Theo Lyon and Cleo Lyon as chefs. In each segment, they have a recipe, for example, slammed and rammed ham with no yam or clam, and all the ingredients they need, and a few they don't. The ingredients are all labeled. The Lions read the recipe step by step, which usually involves getting rid of the extra ingredients and preparing the main component of the recipe. The final step of each recipe involves allowing the food to cook for a specific amount of time, at which point the Lions just say nah and devour the food raw and/or fish. Sometimes, the segments end with the camera zooming in on the refrigerator to segue into a Sam Spud, parboiled potato detective segment. However, this seems to happen at the end of every installment whether it follows a Sam Spud segment or not. Construction is a word morph segment, where construction vehicles, forklifts, pickup trucks, cranes, etc., form many different words. Space is a recurring animated segment from Between the Lions in which letters fly through space by an UFO, a rocket and a space shuttle to form word. Sam Spud, Parboiled Potato Detective, or The Adventures of Sam Spud, Parboiled Potato Detective is a main recurring segment from Between the Lions. The segment stars a potato-headed private investigator named Sam Spud, and is a parody of the Sam Spade detective stories by Dashiell Hammett. The segment makes heavy use of sight gags based on wordplay, such as the narrator referring to the entrance of a tomato, 1930s slang for an attractive woman, who is revealed to be a real tomato. Another running gag involves the neon sign outside Sam's office window that literally blinks words and phrases which initially seem to be turns of phrase used by Sam. For example, after Sam remarks on the endless blinking, the sign is revealed to be blinking the word endless. Beginning in Season 2, Sam's world expands beyond his office, with stories taking place in other parts of town. In this season, Sam has also gained a partner named Precious, as Sam refers to her. At times, he also claims that she's a real peach, a slang phrase that means someone very pleasant and likable. Sam Spud is voiced by the series co-creator Michael K. Frith, and Precious Peach is voiced by puppeteer Jennifer Barnhart. The Sam Spud segments became rarer in Season 2, and mostly disappeared after that. The segment frequently follows installments of What's Cooking with Theo and Cleo in episodes of the show by having the camera pan over to the refrigerator and zoom in. Tiger Words is a recurring series of cartoon segments from Between the Lions. In each installment, word writing phenom Tiger Words approaches the letter T, and attempts to correctly spell a given word. The name Tiger Woods is a pun on that of golf champion Tiger Woods.